You think you know me?
WWE Royal Rumble is an iconic event that became a staple of the promotion starting in 1988 on the USA Network. That's right. Not only was the first Royal Rumble not on pay-per-view, the winner didn't even receive a WWE title shot for winning as they do today. Now, not only does the winner receive a world title shot at WrestleMania, starting in 2018, there's also a women's Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble has evolved over the decades to become my favorite pay-per-view, and a handful of iconic moments are responsible for that. Let's talk about some of the most important Royal Rumbles from 1988 to 2023. As an honorable mention, Hacksaw Jim Duggan won the inaugural Royal Rumble in 1988. But because it led to nothing, it's only an honorable mention. I'm not saying it's not important, but after Duggan won that TV special, everybody kind of just moved on, you know? It actually wasn't until 1992 that the Royal Rumble was first competed for the WWE Championship. No, not the #1 contendership, but the actual WWE Championship. In fact, the only Royal Rumbles to be competed for the WWE title are the 1992 Royal Rumble and 24 years later at the 2016 Royal Rumble when Triple H won the WWE Undisputed title during tumultuous times in WWE. Speaking of the 1992 Royal Rumble, the great Ric Flair had one of the first iconic Royal Rumble moments in history by winning the Rumble from the #3 spot.
Whoa! Now!
Flair won the WWE Championship that night and cut a classic promo saying, quote,
"With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment
of my life." Most fans favored Flair to compete against Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 8 that year, but in an upset, Flair ended up wrestling Macho Man Randy Savage for the WWE Championship in what ended up being a much better match than Flair would have had against Hogan. Hogan, on the other hand, ended up wrestling Sid Vicious in what ended up being a WrestleMania stinker. Starting in 1993, the winner of the Royal Rumble match received a #1 contender shot against the WWE Championship. The first winner to kick that trend off was Yokozuna, when Randy Savage, in one of my favorite moments, inexplicably tried to pin Yokozuna to win the Royal Rumble.
You are stupid. You are straight up stupid.
Yokozuna kicked out, thereby eliminating Savage, who actually never won a Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels made history in 1995 by winning the Royal Rumble from the #1 spot. Michaels was thought to have been eliminated by the British Bulldog, but later re-entered the Rumble match to eliminate the Bulldog himself. Michaels went on to lose the main event of WrestleMania 11 that year against Diesel. Michaels went on to return in 1996 to win back-to-back Royal Rumbles, becoming the first wrestler to do that since Hulk Hogan in 1990 and 1991. Nobody would win the Royal Rumble from the #1 spot again until he who shall not be named in 2004, Edge in 2021, and Rhea Ripley in 2023. The 1997 Royal Rumble was iconic for a lot of reasons. That was the year that Steve Austin came into his own as a babyface by checking his watch during the Rumble match. It was also the year that Steve Austin cheated like a heel in the Royal Rumble. Austin got eliminated only to re-enter the Royal Rumble and eliminate Bret Hart himself. The 1997 Royal Rumble featured the first proper surprise entrance as Jerry the King Lawler and a handful of Mexican wrestlers like Mil Mascaras competed in the match. Surprise entrants have now become a staple of the Royal Rumble match and are now a category to judge just how good each Royal Rumble is.
You think you know me?
In 1998, the very next year, Mick Foley entered the Royal Rumble, not once, not twice, but 3 times as Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack.
So proud of you, so proud.
And in 2024, Sasha Banks, AJ Lee, The Rock, and Andrade are just some of the surprise candidates. Names like Chris Jericho, Edge, and John Cena have also competed and even won as surprise Royal Rumble entrants. In 2001, Steve Austin became the first and only WWE superstar to win 3 Royal Rumble matches. And until 2020, it was the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Shit, some people may argue that it still may be the greatest Rumble ever. Austin was attacked by Triple H, bloodied up, and written off by JR before he even entered the Royal Rumble. Suddenly, Austin fought back into the Royal Rumble match and was able to slay the Monster Kane to win his 3rd Royal Rumble ever. Stone Cold went on to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 17 and arguably the greatest WrestleMania ever, but he also questionably turned heel and detonated his stock as a babyface. In the 2002 Royal Rumble, Tough Enough winner Maven had one of the most memorable eliminations ever when he drop-kicked The Undertaker straight out of the Royal Rumble. Taker was one of many favorites to win the Rumble that night, and the State Farm Arena in Georgia was shocked. The Undertaker went on to destroy Maven upon elimination, and the two feuded over the Hardcore Championship for months after that. You could now see Maven on one of the greatest wrestling YouTube channels ever, where Maven doesn't have a bad thing to say about anybody, even when he tries. John Cena and Batista made history in the 2005 Royal Rumble when they both eliminated each other at the same time. At the time, I thought it was all part of the plan because both celebrated as if they had won. A pissed off Vince McMahon even walked out, slid into the ring, and tore both of his quads trying to resolve this issue. Still, I thought this was all part of the plan. Ultimately, Cena and Batista restarted the Rumble, with Batista eliminating Cena, going on to defeat Triple H at WrestleMania 21, kicking off the Cena-Batista era. Cena would go on to lap Batista within a year as WWE's top overall star. Speaking of Cena, John Cena went on to win his first Royal Rumble in 2008, when he won as a surprise entrant at number 30. Cena was thought to have been out of action for months with a pec injury. But after a miraculous recovery, Cena entered the Royal Rumble in Madison Square Garden and won. Cena failed to win the WWE title against Orton at No Way Out that year.
Oh, that's sad.
When Orton slapped the ref. Cena got a rematch in a WrestleMania 24 three-way against Randy Orton and Triple H, but lost that match too. Starting in 1999, women began competing in men's Royal Rumble matches. Chyna won the DX Corporate Royal Rumble to earn the right to compete in the 1999 Men's Royal Rumble. There, she entered at number 30, eliminated Mark Henry, and was eliminated by Steve Austin. In 2010, Beth Phoenix became the second ever woman to compete in the Men's Royal Rumble match, eliminating the Great Khali, only to be eliminated by CM Punk. 2 years later, in 2012, Karma became the third woman in history to compete in the Men's Royal Rumble match, eliminating Hunico, only to be thrown out by TNA's Dolph Ziggler / Nick Nemeth. 7 years later, in 2019, Nia Jax became the first person to compete in 2 Royal Rumbles in the same night. After competing in the Women's Royal Rumble earlier that night, Jax attacked R-Truth, entered at number 30, eliminated Mustafa Ali, and was ousted by Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio in a truly exciting moment. Now, everybody knows Kofi Kingston for his highlight reel of Royal Rumble saves. But did you know it was John Morrison who first started that trend? In 2011, Morrison was yeeted from the Royal Rumble only to grab onto the barricade and jump onto the stairstep. Fans were dazzled by the spot, which became a tradition when Kofi Kingston and later Naomi did it year after year. Unfortunately, Kingston has botched his spots in recent years, but hopefully 2024 is the year Kofi gets back on track. 2014 was a very memorable moment for CM Punk in the Royal Rumble, who entered at number 1 and stayed for 49 minutes. Punk was later eliminated by Corporate Kane, and that was the last time anybody ever saw him in WWE, until of course he returned at Survivor Series in 2023. Batista won the Royal Rumble in 2014 despite intense fan demand for Daniel Bryan to win as part of the Yes movement. Bryan wasn't even featured in the Royal Rumble match, poor Rey Mysterio, but he did go on to win the WrestleMania 30 main event against Randy Orton and Batista.
Yes! Yes! Daniel Bryan has overcome the authority. There is your new face of WWE!
As for CM Punk, he's now favored to win the Royal Rumble match in 2024 and main event WrestleMania 40 against Seth Rollins. Mind you, this man was just in AEW in August. What a life we live in wrestling, right? Fan backlash continued into the 2015 Royal Rumble when square peg Roman Reigns won the Rumble match. Reigns was booed roundly by Philadelphia despite the endorsement by The Rock, and Roman main evented WrestleMania for the next 4 years. Many people were not big fans of Reigns' babyface push. I'm a day one Roman Reigns fan, by the way, but WWE eventually figured it out, and now we have the tribal chief who has main evented WrestleMania as a top heel for the last 3 years. This includes WrestleMania 39, when Reigns inexplicably beat Cody Rhodes, who is still trying to finish his story with The Rock standing in his way. Ugh, God. Let's go, Cody! Becky Lynch caught fire as arguably WWE's hottest women's star ever when she won the Royal Rumble in 2019, replacing Lana. Lynch won both the Raw and SmackDown titles against Charlotte and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35, thereby cementing her position as the man and the top star in the business at the time. Bianca Belair became the first black woman to win a Royal Rumble match in 2021, and she went on to main event night 1 of WrestleMania 37 against Sasha Banks. The resurgent Michael Cole made it a point to call out the fact that this was the first WrestleMania main event between two black women, and boy was it a great one.
Black girl magic!
Belair never looked back, defeating Sasha Banks and maintaining an Undertaker-like undefeated record of 3-0 at WrestleMania.
Black girl magic!
In what I personally consider to be the greatest Royal Rumble ever, Brock Lesnar became King of the Hill in 2020. That year, Lesnar competed in the Royal Rumble match as WWE Champion for the first time since Roman Reigns did it in 2016. Lesnar lasted for well over 26 minutes, eliminated one WWE superstar after another, 10 total, each of whom was highlighted against the Beast. It wasn't until Drew McIntyre entered the Rumble at number 16, eliminating Lesnar with help from Ricochet and going on to win the entire thing. McIntyre later defeated Lesnar in the WrestleMania main event that year for the WWE title, but was snake-bitten because it happened in an empty stadium due to COVID. Drew McIntyre has since turned heel and is still looking for his big moment. Hopefully it happens before he signs with AEW. Check out this CM Punk playlist and subscribe. Who will win this year's Royal Rumble match? Who will last the longest? Will anybody win from number 1? Who's going to have the most eliminations? Who are your picks for surprise entrants in the men's and women's Royal Rumble match? Tell me in the comments!